Here's the thing. Most people think building serious wealth requires a massive salary, picking the right stocks at the right time, or getting lucky. They're wrong. The most powerful force in personal finance doesn't care about any of that. It doesn't care what you earn. It doesn't care what you know about the stock market. It doesn't even care if you pay attention to your account for 20 years. It's compound interest. And if you can spare $50 a month, it will make you wealthy whether you're ready for it or not. Now look, you've probably heard the phrase. Someone rattled it off in a video, threw up a chart with 2 lines, moved on, and I get why your eyes glaze over. It sounds like math class. It sounds theoretical. It sounds like something that happens to other people with trust funds and finance degrees. But here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. The difference between someone who understands what I'm about to show you and someone who doesn't is not small. It is, in dollar terms, often the difference between retiring comfortably and not retiring at all. Same income, same lifetime, different outcome. And the wildest part? Most of that difference comes down to a decision that takes less time than ordering lunch. So stick with me. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how compound interest actually works in your actual life. Not on a spreadsheet, not in theory, and you'll have one simple setup you can implement today that your future self will not believe you had the foresight to do. Let's get into it. You've seen this chart. I know you have. Every personal finance blog runs it. Every podcast quotes some version of it. The message is always the same. Start early. Time is everything. Look what happens when you start at 25 instead of 35. And look, if you're 22 and watching this, that chart is genuinely motivating. But if you're 30 or 35 or 45 and you're sitting there thinking, well, I guess I already missed the boat, that chart is not motivating. It's demoralizing because the message you hear isn't start now. The message you hear is you already lost. That is not what I'm here to tell you. Yes, time matters. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling something. But here's what that chart never shows you, the actual dollar math at the ground level, the version where someone at 35 or 40 still builds genuine wealth with an amount that doesn't hurt. And that's the version we're going to walk through right now. Let's use numbers that don't require a 6-figure salary. $50 a month. That's one dinner out. That's a streaming subscription and a half. It's not nothing, but for most people, it's not life-changing money out of their checking account either. $50 a month at an 8% average annual return. That's roughly the historical return of the U.S. stock market over long periods. Year 5, you've put in $3,000. Your account balance, about $3,670. Nothing life-changing. If you check it at year 5, you might wonder if this whole thing was worth the effort. Year 10, you've put in $6,000. Your account balance is now roughly $9,150. Okay, you're starting to see something, but it's still not the kind of number that makes you sit up straight. Year 20, you've put in $12,000. Your account balance? Around $29,500. Do you see what's happening? You put in $12,000. The account nearly hit $30,000. That extra $17,500? That's money you didn't earn from working. That's money that showed up while you were sleeping, eating, working, going on vacation, doing anything except thinking about this account. Year 30, you've put in $18,000 total over 3 decades. The account balance is now roughly $75,000. $18,000 in, $75,000 out. And here's the part that should genuinely change how you think about money going forward. Say you start at 25, $50 a month until 65. That's 40 years, $24,000 total contributed. Balance at 65, roughly $175,000. Now say you start at 35, same $50, but now you've got 30 years instead of 40. Total contributed, $18,000. Balance at 65, about $75,000. Say you start at 45, 20 years, $12,000 total contributed. Balance at 65, roughly $29,500. The gap between starting at 25 versus 35 is about $100,000. Same contribution amount, same market. The only difference is 10 years. And I'm not showing you this to make anyone feel bad. I'm showing you this because the takeaway is not, oh no, I'm too late. The takeaway is that every single year you wait, you're not just losing the $600 you would have put in, you're losing the years of compounding that $600 would have generated. And those years at the end of the timeline are where the curve gets steep. So if you're 35 or 40 watching this, the best time to start was 15 years ago. The second best time is today. Not next month, not when you get the raise. Today. Now, here's what the personal finance content usually skips, and it's the reason most people who understand compound interest still don't do anything with it. Understanding the math doesn't mean you'll act on the math. There's research on this. Mullainathan and Shafir, behavioral economists, they showed that when people are operating without a financial cushion, they make measurably worse decisions, not because they're less smart, because part of their brain is always running a background calculation about whether they're going to be okay. That takes up bandwidth. And that background stress is the enemy of long-term thinking. It's what makes you say, I'll start next year, year after year. So here's the real trick to making compound interest work for you. You don't need discipline. Discipline is a battery that dies by about 5 p.m. What you need is a system that removes the decision entirely. This is called Parkinson's law. When you see money in your checking account, your brain will find a way to spend it. It's not a character flaw, it's how brains work. Work expands to fill the time available, and spending expands to fill the money available. Wealthy people don't rely on being disciplined, they rely on automation. So that's exactly what we're going to set up. Here's your simple first step. And I mean simple. This is not complicated. It should take you less than 20 minutes. Step 1. Open a brokerage account. You've got options. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, Robinhood. All of them let you open an account with no minimum deposit. Pick one. Doesn't matter which. What matters is that the account exists by the end of the day today. Step 2. Set up an automatic monthly transfer for $50. Not after you pay your bills, not from whatever's left at the end of the month, because, spoiler, there's never anything left at the end of the month. Set it for the day after your paycheck hits. Present you will find reasons not to do it. Automation removes present you from the equation entirely. Here's the psychology behind this. When you never see the money, you never miss it. Within 2 paychecks, your brain adjusts. That slightly smaller checking account balance becomes your new normal, and the brokerage account grows in the background without you thinking about it at all. Step 3. Buy 1 share of an index fund. You don't need to pick stocks. The research on this is pretty discouraging. The vast majority of actively managed funds run by full-time professionals with research teams and Bloomberg terminals underperform simple index funds over 10-year periods. So if the professionals can't reliably beat the market, you and I probably shouldn't try. Buy VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. Buy VTI, the Total Stock Market Fund. Buy 1 share. They're each trading in the $500 to $600 range right now, so you may need to save a few months of that $50 first, or buy fractional shares if your broker supports it. Either way, the specific fund matters less than the fact that you bought something diversified and then left it alone. Step 4. Turn on dividend reinvestment. It's called DRIP. 1 checkbox in your account settings. What this does is take any dividends the fund pays out, a few times a year, and automatically buys more shares instead of parking them as cash. More shares mean more dividends next quarter. More dividends mean more shares. It's a loop. The less you touch this account, honestly, the better it tends to do. Rule 1. Automate it and forget the password. I'm half joking, but only half. People who check their accounts every day tend to panic when the market has a bad week and do something they regret. The market will go down at some point. Everything does. If you've got 20 or 30 years ahead of you, a 10% drop is not a disaster. It's a buying opportunity, because next month's $50 is buying in at a discount. But you only get that advantage if you don't sell. Rule 2. Ignore the noise.
CNBC, Twitter, your coworker who just discovered crypto, they are not your financial advisors. The financial media's job is to make you anxious enough to keep watching. Your job is to keep putting $50 a month into a diversified fund and going about your life. Since 1926, the U.S. stock market has posted positive returns in roughly 3 out of every 4 calendar years. Over any given 20-year period, it has never, 0 times produced a negative return. And that's not a guarantee of future results, but it's a pretty strong signal about what happens when you stay in the game long enough. Rule 3. Increase contributions with every raise. Here's where the math gets really interesting. Remember, $50 a month got us to $75,000 over 30 years. What happens if you start at $50 when you're 25, then bump it to $100 at 30, then $200 at 35 as your income grows? Now you're not at $175,000 at 65, you're closer to $400,000. Same concept, same boring index fund. The only difference is that you treated raises as opportunities to increase the system rather than upgrade the lifestyle. There's a concept called hedonic adaptation. We get used to nice things instantly. The new apartment becomes normal. The nicer car becomes the car. But the payments stay forever. The 50% raise rule. When your income increases, half goes to investments before you ever see it. You still enjoy the other half. You're still living better than before, but you're building wealth at an accelerating rate in the background. That's how people who make $70,000 a year retire with $1 million, while people making $200,000 live paycheck to paycheck. So let me bring this back to where we started. Most people think building wealth is about earning more, or getting lucky, or cracking some code that only finance people understand. It's not. It's about setting up a system so boring you forget it exists and letting time do the rest. $50 a month. That's the system. That's the entire system. The people I've seen build real financial flexibility over time, who can say no to jobs they don't want, who don't panic when the car breaks down, who have actual options in their 40s and 50s, most of them didn't do anything complicated. They didn't pick winning stocks, they didn't time the market. They opened an account, they automated a small amount, and they went about their lives. And then, one day, they opened the app and needed a moment to sit down. The only version of this strategy that doesn't work is the one you don't start. So here's your simple first step. Right now, before you close this tab, open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Schwab, Robinhood, pick one. Set up an automatic transfer for $50 a month. Buy 1 share of an index fund. And that's it. That's the whole thing. The account just needs to exist and be funded. The compounding starts immediately. If this gave you a clearer picture of what compound interest actually looks like in real life, not in a textbook, not in a spreadsheet, but in your actual bank account 10, 20, 30 years from now, a like goes a long way. It helps the algorithm put this in front of people who could use it. And if you want more content like this, subscribe. I put these out regularly. One question before you go. What's the one thing that's been keeping you from starting? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them. Thanks for watching. Till next time.